Hi, love. Hello, and welcome to Co-Creative Healing Journey. My name is Greta. I am a healer, and this video is one of many videos that we're going to start doing where we are going to be looking at collective energy so much more so that spirit can really walk with you and accompany you into the big energy shifts of this year, next year, and ongoing through into 2026, and as I have been talking about here on the channel. So today's video is about the sun going into Scorpio, and that's a big energy. It is cosmic energy. And so to talk about it, I've decided to break it up into different parts. So we're going to start by talking about the energy. Then we are going to be talking about main themes that spirit wants us to focus on. And then we're going to get some grounded specific advice to help you through Scorpio season. Through all of that, I will be drawing cards. The decks are in the description box. And that being said, let's go. So the energy is, of course, that of the sun moving into the sign of Scorpio, into the 8th house. And to bring through the messages, I have here the Gaia Oracle. So I'm just going to go and see, because any kind of energy is archetypal. There are so many aspects to the 8th house itself and then to Scorpio as the sign. And for me, the house is the space in which the energy is going to be unfolding, and the sign, the astrological sign, is kind of guidance telling us how to move through it. The most optimal way, the ruler of the house is the optimal way to move through that energy. And so there's tons of different aspects, and I just want to leave it to spirit to highlight the energy and to develop. So we're going to start with, oh yeah, I have to have you with me. Ooh, transparency. There's something about transparency, something about discernment and vision in a difficult space, in the 8th house space. So we have got Moonlight Goddess, yep. Repressed emotions, healing and reflection. And then we've got remembrance, resurfacing of past feelings and emotions. And we are very much in the energy of the 8th house. So let's start here. This is a kind of watery energy that is coming up. And actually, they are connected. So we need to look at them both at the same time. Because what is going on is that the Scorpio energy is taking us into the space of remembrance. There's an old self, and really these energies are abandoned self that is coming up, and it is requiring within us the ability to handle it, to meet it. So just as I was talking about how you have the house and then the energies of the house unfolding it as the space in which the sun is going to unfold its own energies with our energies of creativity, energies of spiritual essence that incepts our reality and what we experience. It comes from that solar inception. The sun is like the central energy in our solar system and the zodiac. And so as the solar energy, as that creativity, that divine creative energy, that essence energy is moving through the 8th house, as in contact with that space, it's like it is setting off remembrance. And here in this instance, remembrance is it says emotions and things like that, but I'm getting much more remembrance of our spiritual being, of our spiritual nature, and that there's going to be a lot of energies by the sun in Scorpio that it's kind of excavating spiritual essence, spiritual power, spiritual truth, spiritual vitality, spiritual creativity, and especially in the 8th house, spiritual power. And it is going to be getting tickled, and it's like just yeah, it feels very faint. It feels very watery energy, like in the awareness. It feels like it's coming up, and then we need to have the ability to seize it. Oh, that's what's going on. Meaning there's going to be a lot of situations coming up during this month that are going to be situations that are testing the spiritual integrity. So we're going to be tested in our spiritual boundaries. We're going to be tested in our spiritual truth, in our spiritual alignment, in our, again, our knowing and embodiment of our spiritual being. And with that, there's going to be the need to respond and to engage from a place where we are doing what is necessary, showing up with power, showing up with discernment, showing up with clarity, showing up also with the transpersonal skills of Scorpio in order to resolve this, so that what is sacred is protected, what is sacred is taken care of. Yeah, Spirit is saying that it's very much a month of spiritual warfare that is kind of erupting in our intermediate spaces, in our everyday life, in our engagements and interactions with others. There's going to be lots of individual battlegrounds and battlefields of spiritual warfare where we are going to need to step up and to be protecting our spiritual essence, to be serving it, to be choosing it, to be empowering ourselves to stand in our spiritual truth and really to own our spiritual being. And that's a lot of like spiritual. How that would show up is very much what is sacred to me. When I feel in my spirituality, I feel the sacredness of life, the sacredness of me, the sacredness of my work, and so on and so forth. So wherever I'm putting my spiritual energy, that's what's sacred. So there's in this season, in the energy, there's a lot coming up that is testing what is sacred. And again, life, nature, our spiritual nature, our truth, our love, our creativity. And creativity is very much about the ability to manifest our lives as we want to, right? So to create the conditions that we want to experience, the experiences we want to have, to also come out of necessarily like repetition or being forced to have things unfold in a certain way. We can always be creative in how we want to experience something, how we want to make something happen. And that's an inalienable divine right. To me, that would be sacred. Our individuality is sacred. Our sovereignty is sacred. So those kinds of elements are coming up very, very clearly. And I would even say that we are seeing it unfold on a global stage, global levels, with some wars and some conflicts that are very center stage right now. And that's just the big level that is going to come down into our individual realities, which is why Spirit was going into this very martial language of battlefields and battlegrounds and having to show up and having to fight for what is sacred and what matters. And again, very spiritual things, the value of life, the value of individuality, the value of our space, the value of our right, of our birthright, of our abundance, and so on and so forth. So this is not physical fight, obviously in the energy, right? It's not about that. We can translate it into that, but we are going to see later what the main themes are and how Spirit would like to talk about it. But that's the point. We're being shown at this time that we have the ability to be very creative about how we engage with challenges to what is most sacred and what is most true to us. And it is incumbent upon every single one of us to take on that challenge and to move forward with that. And especially because it says repressed emotions and it also says healing. So this is incredibly healing work for us individually, but I do feel it's also applicable at a collective level, that we all need to look at what's going on inside of us, what's going on in around us, again those intermediate situations and circumstances, but also at the global level to look at it and take responsibility. If there's violence on the global stage, how are we being violent in our emotions, in our thoughts, in our language, in our perspective? Where do we have tolerance for violence? Where do we have do we say no completely? Well, in this case, in that way, against these people or those people, what do we allow ourselves to live as violent also in our own lives, right? Where are our boundaries? Because sometimes and very often, the Spirit endures a tremendous amount of violence. It can be so violent, you can feel, or not more than a feeling, it's an experience, right? When we are in what is sacred to us, when we are in our spiritual truth, our spiritual nature, which is so powerful, absolutely, but also very gentle, to be in that space and to be met with violence, to be met with even alienation, to be met with ridicule, all of those things, it's very harmful to the spirit. And we see that a lot in little children growing up, how they just come out and they expect to be loved and to be appreciated, and then they have all of those experiences that hurt and wound, and but also push the spirit in them back, right? So that their spiritual nature becomes enshrouded in all of these patterns and all of these things that we learn as children, and in order to cope, in order not to hurt so bad, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of, because we're in the eighth house, there's a lot around those patterns. Where did we also build up patterns that are having us tune in more into the collective, right? As it is unfolding, the mainstream collective, mainstream consciousness, into how other people go about things, into how my family goes about things, my workplace. Where have we compromised? Where have we forgotten a more true, a more noble, a more pure version of ourselves, and even a more true, a more noble, a more pure wish, desire, perspective, insight, but also kind of, yeah, a wish, something that we wanted to create, to bring about in the world, that we let go of because that's not how it's done. That's not how it's work. That's not okay. That's not this. That's not that. So all of those things are coming up, and Spirit is saying that's the battleground and that's the battlefield. And for many of us, depending on the wounding that we carry, that could be a very difficult battleground to be on, that it necessarily will arise as is appropriate for every single person in our journey, because those are the battles of our times, as within, so without. And so many of us are doing this work to heal within, precisely so that we can contribute healing without. And so if you are in any way, shape, or form feeling very despondent and very hurt and very sad by what's going on at a global level, absolutely, that is completely appropriate. I would even say it's natural. I would even say that's the spirit in you weeping out of love. At the same time, Spirit is saying there is a way to do this work that not everybody on the planet will take on, that not everybody on the planet will even recognize is possible, is needed, is necessary, is salutary, and that is the work of healing ourselves. We heal the self, we heal with others, we heal the world, and those dynamics have never been more in alignment than they are today, and that they will be in the times ahead. And the sun in Scorpio will be bringing that to us in the energy in some way, shape, or form. It's going to manifest. It's a truth that we're going to have hit home in very clear and tangible and visible ways, manifesting, right? That solar essence manifesting into our lives, so that we also can be encouraged and bolstered and feel the purpose and the importance and the value of this inner work that we are doing. So it's coming. Absolutely, it's going to come. You'll see. And Spirit will show you this Scorpio season. So, love, that was it for the energy. And we're now going to be talking about different kinds of main themes that Spirit wants to highlight this Scorpio season. And so, let's now talk main themes. I feel like four main themes that we are going to be developing as part of this energy, right? And the main themes really have to do with our approach, because there's the energy, but then there's how we work it. And then we always work the energy because we are divine creative beings, right? That's the gig, that's the game. And again, not everybody else is showing up to do this work. So those of us who are just so much more influential in the grand scheme of things. So I have 4 cards. We've got the King of Pentacles. Oh my God. Spirit is hitting hard. Let's go. King of Cups. Okay. In this deck, the Knights are kings. We have got the 4 of Pentacles with power, straight up power. And then we have got the 6 of Cups, pleasure in this deck, but also 6 of Cups in general is a card of emotional healing. So that theme came up again, which is very appropriate for Scorpio energy. And the 6 of Cups, actually, we will talk about it later, but I'll just tell you now, is the sun in Scorpio. You have the sun symbol right there. You have Scorpio there, so that the energy of the sun in Scorpio showed up. And the King of Cups is the fixed sign. The kings are the fixed signs. So we have the fixed water sign, which is Scorpio, and the fixed earth sign, which is Taurus. So we also have that Taurus Scorpio polarity showing up, and in a very dignified kind of way. And off the last eclipses, we are finishing up the cycle of Scorpio Taurus eclipses a couple of days from now on the 28th, where I am in my part of the world on the 28th, with a partial lunar eclipse, full moon eclipse in the sign of Taurus. So this is also very much part of this energy. Wow. Okay. So that's the background for it, and that's the main theme. So it's very much about what's in the air, the zeitgeist, what's in the air, and how to engage with it. We're starting with the Taurus energy, and we're starting with the Taurus full moon and lunar eclipse. And so the main theme with the sun going into Scorpio is actually going to be that eclipse. It is going to be preparing us, but by moving us into the eclipse and also on the way out of the eclipse. Because when I saw this and I the first hit that I got and I grasped what it was, I was like, oh my God, that's where spirit is going. Yeah, because the King of Pentacles is talking about having an elevated earthly experience. And so we are talking about difficult collective dynamics and experiences, and within all of that, spirit is saying your task is to thrive. Your task is to live in a world that is burning, figuratively speaking, but also these days quite literally. And so it's about living in that world without being too held down or at all held down by what's going on in it. King of Pentacles for me is an energy of a community leader. So the King of Pentacles knows what's going on. It is this energy of providing for others, taking care of others, being very much invested in the social realm, in the social community, and especially in all the things of the Pentacles, the circles. So the tribe, the community, the country, those kinds of things, to be very invested at those levels, but not having it hold us down, so we can know what's going on. We can read the newspapers, we can watch the news, but we still need to have the mastery over all of those dynamics to be able to rise above so that it doesn't describe our experience. Because for most of us, we are blessed that when we walk out, the city isn't on fire, our corner of the world is not on fire. And so we are being asked to hold that space, and it's coming through so clearly. Spirit is like, hold that space. We have to have the ability to, what's the word, it's projection, like we project onto reality, but also we hold the space of affirming. And it's more than our affirmation. It is, yeah, it's projection energy. Projection energy. This is what reality is. And affirming peace, affirming plenty, affirming safety, affirming all of those wonderful elements that we have. You know, sometimes yeah, the energy is kind of jittery. It's like very odd to be talking about it or talking about it in this way, but it's coming, and it is the result of that whole cycle of eclipses. But also Uranus is in Taurus doing a lot of jittery flying electric kind of work and transformational and revolutionary work. This is a revolutionary perspective to apply, and it's very much coming in because I was thinking about this the other day, and I was thinking about how to have so much and have it so good when other people have so little. And we don't even need to go into the context of global conflicts or in a war at that stage. It would be just to have running water, just to have food to eat for every single meal. I am even better off than some people in my own society, and I live in a Western social democratic, right? In a social democracy. So there are all of these levels in which I have it so much better than so many people around me. And I was trying to find the space within me, because how I would respond before was like, give it away, here, take it, to help, to keep pouring into other people and have less for me. But then it's fine. But what spirit brought me into thinking, taught me, is not to say have less for me so you can have more, but it's how can we all have what I have? How can we all have this level of peace, this level of security, this level of prosperity, this level of abundance? How can we make that the norm for everybody on the planet? So that even if you were the biggest billionaire in the world, you don't necessarily need to give it all away. But you would need, within this perspective, you would need to work and to effort and to invest in everybody else also becoming a billionaire, right? Lifting everybody up to the level. So this is saying, like, hold the level, create that level, hold the space, hold the line, hold the energy, absolutely affirm it, project it into reality as the norm for everybody. Everybody. And it's like, I'm getting just this energy. Spirit is like, don't move an inch, don't budge an inch. If you're coming, you're sitting there smiling and someone is like, why are you smiling? So many horrible things are happening in the world. Don't budge an inch. You don't have to explain it to them. You don't have to get into a thing with them, but you just know the importance of you holding that space. That's all that matters, is for you to know it and to realize it. So King of Cups, there we have the Scorpio energy. And the King of Cups especially depicted here. Oh, that's so ironic. There's the Scorpio here. So when you read the description of the card, it also talks about family and brings in the energy of family. And this is about transcendence. And this is almost like transcending your family. We were talking about transpersonal relationships. So that can come through very clearly, that a lot of these boundaries getting tested and a lot of what is sacred to us being infringed upon and being threatened. Would threatened be a word? Yeah, threatened, to be challenged. That could come through in the context of family, which will also be very appropriate in terms of that being our ancestry. But also in a larger sense, Spirit is talking about the human family. And it's a really good time with these energies and with these times and where we're headed in 2024, 2025, and so on and so forth. Is about transcending the patterns of the human family. So whether it is your human family, your physical family, or your human family, your soul family even, it is about transcending those patterns so that you're not reproducing them, you're not living that out, you're not in the cycles of violence, you're not in the cycles of recrimination, you're not in the cycles of blaming, you're not in the cycles of victimhood, you're not in the cycles of pain, essentially. But you can transcend it to craft and create a different kind of experience while still being very, very aware of what's going on and finding a way to do both, to balance both, because it's not about abandoning it either, right? Off world, here you go. That's not transcendence. That would just be denial, because again, we are part of a human family, and what person would watch their family suffer? Just be like, yeah, peace out. Right? It wouldn't work that way in a healthy kind of way. It doesn't mean you have to be in the pain with them. You don't have to be in the problems with them, but you still have to care. And I love how we're doing this in Scorpio energy, because Cancer energy would be very nurturing, right? Oh, how can I nurture this? How can I? But Scorpio energy has the ability to do both, has the ability to love and to be very empathetic and very engaged, but at the same time to retain the personal space, the individuality, and also the discernment and the clarity. That Scorpio energy, as it shows up, right? Now, how we personalize it, but Scorpio energy in and of itself is this energy that is archetypally made to go into the darkest spaces, into the death and the rebirth and all of those cycles, into the wounding, into our resources, other people's resources, and those kinds of exchanges, into alchemy also, and also into these like sexual dynamics, very merge union dynamics, because the ultimate union is spiritual, it's between us and the divine, right? So at the highest level of Scorpio, it's about that union. So to go into all of these dynamics where the boundaries aren't really clear, but to still hold and maintain the self, to still hold and maintain clarity, discernment, the truth. The truth is the truth. That's the truth. You can cry about it, you can get emotional, you can have all of these reasons why, but the Scorpio energy upholds that. To go into the darkness fundamentally and to remain the light and to remain a source of light also unto others. That's very much the what's it called? The calling, but also the potential that is here for us at this time. So next we had a Four of Pentacles, and that's just like, yo, listen, this is not easily done. This is not easily done at all. And when you see the symbol, it reminds me of Goddess Durga, the fortress, the impregnable fortress, the fortress that cannot be taken over. And that's how you need to think about your life. And we're not just talking about Scorpio season. It's starting up in Scorpio season, but this is going to be a shift. This is the next age. This is the next energy. And you need to have a life that is stable, it has its foundation, and it is impregnable. So other people can do their stuff. They can go up and down, they can go left and right. They can like you, not like you. They can attack you. They can do whatever they want to do under the sun, whatever they can think about. But it doesn't shake you. It doesn't shake your foundation, and it doesn't shake your world. And Spirit is saying that is what power is. That on some level, you can turn on the news and your heart can ache, but your reality remains the same, and your sense of your reality remains the same. The images on the news don't get to encroach on your morning with your child. They don't get to be with you while you're working later on that day, playing in the back of your head while you're trying to focus and to earn a livelihood for you and your family, and so on and so forth. There's are necessities in your life that you need to handle, right? To show up for it. Like the notion or the expression, handle your business. You need to keep handling your business. You need to keep handling your reality. And it's very important that you define this space. And for those of you who are empaths, that's basically how you fix empathy, right? Or heal it and make it into a wholesome space and experience and sense. It's to be so grounded in your own reality that when the emotion comes in, encroaches sometimes, but when you're feeling something, you can discern very clearly, yeah, that's not mine. That's not mine. So I'm not going to sit here and weep. It's not going to ruin my day. I'm not going to get super depressed, not knowing why, step away from my goals, to step away from my own focus, go into something else for an energy that's not mine, because I'm anchored in my own reality. It matters to me. And that is the power that Spirit wants you to have and to enact. And again, we have here Pentacles energy. This is everyday life. This is earthly circumstances. And so this goes so far beyond just a mindset. It's about realizing it. It's about getting done the things you need to get done, getting yourself what you need, like eating right, taking care of yourself, grounding in your reality, and having the stable foundational experience that you need to have no matter what is going on around you, like even within you, even around you, again in those intermediate in spaces, right, the people close to you, or even at a global level on the news a little bit farther away. And a lot of us are very sensitive, and a lot of us are very afraid in that sensitivity of, oh my God, this is only going to accentuate frequency shift after frequency shift after frequency shift. 2024 is going to be a year of massive heart expansion. We're already seeing the beginnings of it now with all that's going on. How's it going to be? How's it going to be? Well, Spirit is saying it's going to get more intense. It's going to get even wilder in terms of things that we could never even imagine coming to pass. There's going to be a lot of change. There's going to be a lot of transformation. 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027, all the way beyond. We're really only going to kind of settle down in 2034, and even then we still have a couple of decades before finishing off this whole cycle. So it is a long-term process. However, you don't need to imagine that you're going to move through that process the way that you have been now or before. There is a new mastery here that can show up and that you're intended to step into. Mastery over the earthly realm and your connection to it, and mastery over your awareness. And of course, for some of you, this is very clearly with this King of Pentacles having money issues and having some form of encroachment upon what is sacred to you out of concerns about money, dynamics about money, challenges with money. And it's also about mastering that so that your reality, that's what the process is. Your reality becomes impregnable and you get that foundation, because again, the energies are going to go up and up and up and up, and you are needed to hold the space, to hold the awareness. You are needed to be the change. So my love, this brings us to Six of Cups. I like this, and I like landing this in talking about all the energies we've been talking about. Spirit is saying main theme for Scorpio season. If there was any homework that the Spirit would give you through Scorpio season, have fun. Have fun. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your life. Why? Because it's your life. It's sacred. Your every single moment is sacred. It's stereotypical to say, but it's true. It's not coming back. No moment is ever going to come back. And you have the divine right to enjoy every single moment of your life. And you exist in a world that is, in its nature, in its truth, is created for you to have that kind of experience. There are distortions, there are systems of life that we have created, that we have chosen, that we have participated in, and that we still participate in to whatever degree, that make that challenging. The Six of Cups is also my card of path of least resistance. There's a path of least resistance that's going to be opening up for you. It's going to be opening up beneath your feet where you are in your experience. What was hard is going to start to seem a little lighter, a little easier, a little more straightforward, because you're bringing a different energy into it. And you can bring that different energy into it because at the same time, you're unhooking from all of these lower dynamics, and you can rise and rise and rise and rise, and it goes through what feels good to you. If it feels good to you, do it. Again, we have work, we have responsibilities, we have stuff that we have to do, and Spirit is saying, hold on to that, hold true to that, don't drop it. But even within all of that, even like, I'm seeing someone like paying the bills, whistling. Bring the joy, bring the pleasure, bring the lightness into the situations, into your life here and now, because this dynamic is there, period. There's a dynamic that is liberating you, that is bringing this kind of elevation from the dynamics as we've known it. So that is happening, period, point blank. And so within that, we can feed that dynamic, we can add to the momentum by seeking pleasure, doing what feels good, following the path of least resistance, so that we are aligning with this divine unfolding, divine blossoming. That's really what it is. The divinity within me, the divinity within you, that spiritual energy that just wants to unfold at a higher level, at a higher frequency, and to make itself so much more present. Because you know what? We need it. We're calling it forward, but also the world needs it and is calling it forward. So love, those were the main themes. And now we are going to get some much more specific advice from Spirit. Alrighty, so let's get some advice. I now have the Worker Light Oracle deck. And Spirit is saying 2 pieces of advice, because that was a lot. I've been talking quite a bit, so thank God I broke up the video. So that's already a message here. Oh yes, it's a lot. It's a lot of energy. It's a big change. Again, we're talking years and years and years and years, and even decades and decades and decades and decades, right? So it's so important to break it up and to have this moment, to be in this moment. But also, look at the week, look at the month, look at the year. Those things are really useful ways, actually, to be able to break up time, but also kind of these big energies, to break it up into one step, one beginning, one evolution, one result, and so on and so forth. So it's less overwhelming here and now, but also in the times ahead. So we have one bit of advice that says yes, just say yes, okay? And then we've got the Great Gathering. It's all coming together, intuitive hits, and Soul Tribe. Oh, I actually have a tribe, so I'm not so happy about the word tribe, because again, that's much more King of Pentacles energy, but that's interesting. We'll talk about that. So yes, just say yes. So what I'm getting is that we're in a crossroads in this, what is it called? Scorpio season. We're standing at a crossroads. We're not in the past. We're not in the present. We're not where we've been, and we're not going to be where we're headed yet. But here and now, there's the need to say yes to what is here and what is now. So very much the tasks of the moment and the tasks of this season. No, really. It's fuzzy because this is excessive. I mean, it's me, but this is also just excessive, that it won't focus. So there's something fuzzy, which is telling me that there's something coming up that you can see. This energy is bringing surprises. It's bringing change. It's bringing transformation. And Spirit is saying necessarily, if your energy has been hooked into lower aspects, you unhook and you start rising. New things, new configurations, new alignments, new causality can start unfolding in your life, and your job is to just say yes. So what we've been talking about, and I'm just seeing now actually that the way in which we set it up is that, okay, this is the energy and these are the main themes, and there's this energy that's saying, or this message that's coming through saying that this is what it is. We can't get off the train. We can't stop the global ascension process. We can't stop global dynamics. But what we can do is look at where we are individually here and now and say yes to that. What shows up? What is here for us to do? There's also a message again that maybe we can't change what's going on at a global level. Maybe we can't do anything about what's going on at the neighbors, but we can handle our own lives. There are things, again, empowerment. We can empower ourselves to take care of the things that we are here to take care of, that we can take care of. And that's a big aspect of empowerment, precisely to know the levels and to know what is ours and what's not ours, and to be able to find strength and initiative, a sense of initiative, and fundamentally a sense of empowerment by approaching things in this way. So, new things coming in, a lot of new things in Scorpio season, a lot of different experiences that are not where you want to go yet, but they're also not where you've been. Something new is coming in here, and it's very important to be present for that, to be in the moment, and to be living that. And Spirit is saying literally, like, live that. Don't live the past, don't live the future, live what is here and now. And in that, you're going to find a tremendous amount of power, of leeway, and of creativity, a tremendous amount of almost alchemy, transmutation, making something into a higher version of itself, or taking something and making it something completely different. And so you're going to be able to work your abilities, your divine creative abilities at those levels in those situations. But it provided that you accept them, that you allow them, and also that you show up to engage with them, and then to work your power to shape and mold them in creative ways. Awesome. Second bit of advice. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the life of every single person watching. Now, add to that a lot going on in the lives of every single person you know, have ever known. Then add to that a lot going on in the lives of every single person on the planet. Then add to that a lot going on in the ancestry of every single person on the planet. There's a lot going on. It's a lot of energy. And so from that comes a lot of change and a lot of evolution that is continually up in the air. For many of you, your guides it is not possible. They cannot tell you this is where you're going to be in a week, in a year, in 10 years. It's not possible. And at a soul level, we have never known it to be that way. So with intuitive hits, I'm feeling like we're learning to evolve at a soul level in order to show up in this reality as it is. It's not the usual. It's not incarnation on earth as we've known it, as we've been used to. Something very new is coming in. And it's about us saying yes in our experiences and how things show up, but it's also about saying yes at a higher level. With that, Spirit is saying, and we're going to close on that, is also the understanding that if you have a problem today, if you have a challenge today, the guarantee that it will still be there tomorrow, a week from now, a year from now, 10 years from now, is the same, right? It may be, it may not be. Odds are it won't be, because there's so much change and so much transformation. And beyond that there is a conscious intent from your guides and again your soul collectives and soul dynamics to bring that change and that transformation to you, your individual circumstances, your conditions, your life as it is unfolding right now, but also at a higher scale, at a higher level. It's like the whole universe is pulling towards change, transformation, evolution, progress, improvement, meaning the whole universe is tending towards its true nature of love, of abundance, of truth, of balance, and so on and so forth, and that manifesting on earth in general. But then you would be more aligned with it than most people are. So you are closer to having that be in your reality, and therefore the dynamics the dynamics of bringing that in are also going to be a lot stronger. I'm hearing almost like reggaeton, you know, like when you hear that beat in that music, it's like that. It's just very it's busy. There's a lot going on. Like if you see a dance floor and everybody's dancing to reggaeton, and it's just a lot is going on, and then there's a lot of change, and there's a lot of transformation, and a lot of it cannot be communicated to you because your guides themselves don't know. And on some level there are also things they want to surprise you with, so you're just going to be getting these kinds of messages and these kinds of updates. And fundamentally, what is more needed than anything else is to find a new way to move through it. And that new way starts with, very simply, straightforwardly, saying yes, engaging with what shows up that is inner present, that is true, and that is aligned, right? We have this aligned from the light. It's not saying yes to everything and anything. That's a movie. In this reality, in this path of growth and evolution, is saying yes to what is aligned, and that is the true revolution. So my love, that was the advice that Spirit has for you. That was the whole video. And I thank you for watching. If you're still here, I would love to hear what you thought about this video and how these themes and these energies are showing up for you in Scorpio season. You can tell me now. You can come back and let me know. I would love to hear it. I am sending you lots of love, wishing you all the best. And of course, yes, if I can help you, then I do offer intuitive readings 2 every week. And I also have created a whole bunch of energy work, some for free here on the channel, and also some that I sell on my website at www.cocreativehealingjourney.com. Some very simple processes, from energy clearings all the way into like year-long healing processes, with all of the healings and energy clearings to go to fill up that time. So love, sending you lots of love, wishing you all the best. May you be blessed always and in all ways, which is so central in this Scorpio season. I wish you the most affluent, joyful, and peaceful Scorpio season that you can possibly co-create with the unconditionally loving energy that guides you. And that being said, I will see you around. Bye!